West. Got the best for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines serving things. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like a Rob Liberace. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pain. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah. West Coast. That's right.
Yes, sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of ENS Updates. I know we missed Friday's episode, I believe it was. I was traveling. I was on a plane. I was traveling all day on Friday. And it was just not possible. Gary actually recommended I hosted the ENS Updates show on the plane, but I don't think that would have been a good idea. But listen, we're back. We're back and we're better. I'm still out here on the West Coast. So instead of saying, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, today I'm going to be saying 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So a little change of time zones for those who tune in from the West Coast. Much appreciated, right? 'Cause I feel like if you live out here, you have to be up early, right? You have to kind of be up a little bit earlier than the rest of the world, relatively speaking, because you're so far behind. Like by the time you get up, the rest of the world is in motion, moving, going about their day. So just kind of a little bit what I observed, but this is going to be a good one, right? I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about community realignment, right? I think a lot has happened over the weekend. A lot has happened over the past several months. And it's good for us to kind of get back into perspective of how far we've come and where we're going, right? I've seen a lot of different things, a lot of different takes. Some people frustrated, some people, kind of confused and lost. Some people don't know what's going on. Guys, I'm just here to say, just settle down. Everybody, let's just settle down and enjoy the journey that we're on, right? Because we could get confused, we could get lost in the sauce, we could, kind of lose sight of what's actually in front of us and how far we've actually come just even over the course of over a year. Just look at the past 365 days, and we've come so far in ENS in particularly, right? And we have such a further way to go, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there, but we can't get there with the bickering. We can't get there with the confusion. We can't get there with everything else that's going right. So I just want to kind of be here and say, hey, let's just settle down. Let's enjoy the journey. And before you know it, 2 years is going to pass by, and we're going to be in a way further and a better place, right? But I also pinned some things to the top I want to kind of briefly discuss before I pass it over. MetaMask announced this week instant bank-to-bank crypto funding options for U.S. users. I think that's big, right? I think that's going to help, mass adoption. What helps mass adoption? Whatever is easy. It has to be easy enough where a fifth grader could do it in his sleep, right? Once it becomes that easy, then you have something on your hands that the masses could use on a day-to-day basis. Right now, particularly speaking, right now, probably about 90% of the people I know in my life, then this might be undermining it. Probably about 90% of the people I know in my life would not know how to buy, an NFT or ENS domain, because it's a little bit difficult. You got to say, hey, you need to transfer your money to this wallet, and then you need to buy this, and then you need to transfer it here, and all these steps, and then they just end up saying screw it, and they go about their day, right? We need to make that as easy and seamless as possible, and I'm beginning to see that happen with a lot of different sources. Next, South Korea plans to offer a digital identity secured by the blockchain to citizens. That's kind of crazy to me, right? Well, it's not even crazy because we've been talking about this. We know where this is going, right? So that's just one country. Expect many, 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 many more things like that and headlines like that over the course of the next 20 years. And the U.S. might be next. Now, what blockchain that is, who knows, right? What is the most secure blockchain? We all know. So let's just keep that in mind and let's follow that story closely. Last but not least, I don't really want to talk too much about this because this is a very touchy point with a lot of people. Sensitive point with a lot of people. But I do want to mention Kanye is rocking the Satoshi Nakamoto hat that I thought was pretty cool. I think it's paying homage to what crypto is all about, right? This guy has been banned from the internet, basically kicked out from his bank. But luckily, in the world of Web3, in the world of decentralization, something like Bitcoin can serve as his bank account from anywhere on the globe, and he doesn't have to worry about anybody censoring him from that. Now, whether we agree with what this guy is saying or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's about the utility of what we're talking about, and the utility of that could easily have been any one of us in any different circumstance or situation where we're being censored. And in Web3, that no longer exists. But with that being said, welcome to ENS Updates. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to our co-host Master, and we'll go from there.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Monday. I think lots of people has been talking about I want a fair in this and I want a fair there. This is not fair, blah blah stuffs. But as a matter of fact, I don't think there's ever fair in this world. We need to create them. We need to build them, and the successful people always make the scale just be whatever good to them. So they will try to make it happen instead of just wait for someone to give them this. Lots of the very successful people, they actually have all experienced being down very bad for once or twice. Or some, if you really want to be successful, you must experience something like that. Or you are born with a golden key, for born successful. But I don't think most of people does have that. So yeah, I don't think sometimes to experience some project, to experience a little bit of failure is a bad thing. But as a song sings, right? What doesn't kill you make you stronger. So crypto is a learning, like a school, keeps let us know, what is up to date and what is the rock project and what is not. And yeah, so they always say that the small wealth, small money, you get it. Maybe you provide some endeavor, you work hard, you can get it. But if we are talking about very decent dollars, very decent, considerable money, then you must climb a train. You must be stay with some really big train, like the internet company train by the Y2K, and maybe the blockchain train by now, such as ENS. So in China, there was a very famous internet search engine named Baidu. You guys must know that it in China, Baidu is as big as Google in overall, especially after Google got banned in China. So we only have Baidu. But I want to tell you guys, Baidu have accurately missed the Web3 age. Before the Web3 age, they accurately missed the mobile end. I think by Y2K or 2010 age, most people they surfing internet via their browsers, and PCN. Most people live with a PCN, and very few people go with a mobile. But in the past 5, 6 years, I think majority people move to their mobile phone. The mobile app or the mini program is kind of the popular way for Chinese people to get access. So yeah, Baidu has been great in the past. They have been the number one search engine, but after they missed the mobile end, the mainstream, then right now they are down really hard comparing to that time. So each company will have a choice for their own, but I think majority of them are still facing the same question when Web3 comes. Are you really want to be that Baidu to miss the Web3, to miss the blockchain mainstream? If are you really feel perfect as long as you are in the internet way of a PC and very centralized browsers and the censorship? Are you okay with that? So if we know the answer of these, I think we should know that majority of these companies should have something, in passion, should have some thoughts, and they want to build something. If that is the case, then ENS is the perfect, the track of the race, I think, for them to get in, because internet companies, they buy domains, they know the trademark protections, they know what it takes for people to know them, and don't get rugged. In Web 2 age, we try not to get a phishing website by not using a wrong, URL. But in Web 3, this is the time for ENS. So we even we even can save a lot of these education efforts by simply, replicating lots of the theory or the scenarios from Web 2. So that's why I'm so bullish on ENS. I believe, we've all seen this episode yet in Web 2 for majority parts, but we also know some things that they haven't seen yet. That's why we have long-term vision. That's why we, will have the faith on this project. And as long as you have a domain for 5 years, $5 a year, and you register and renew it for like 20 or 30 years, you don't need to worry a thing, right? Just stay with it, make all your associations. And yeah, I think we are good. Unless someone says, okay, I really love your domain, this means something special, then I think that can start a very good conversation. Instead of, you must sell this domain. If you renew your domain for more than 10 years, why the hell you have to sell it by this year with some, asking price? I don't think it will work. So yeah, just be patient, just to live longer, with the whole community. I believe we will always be here. We will also be here by this time tomorrow, this time next week, this time next year, because this thing, we are long-term bullish, and we believe this is something that is going to change the world a bit. Yeah, that's all I'm going to share with you guys. Thanks much.
Bombs for Master. I love that, right? Master, he said, if you're renewing it for 10 years, why do you have to sell it this year? That's the quote of the day right there, man. That was good. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked what Master said, go ahead and give this space a retweet, because there's about 100 people in the room and only about 14 retweets on the official post. So take 2 seconds out your day, 2 seconds at your time. Go ahead and give that a retweet. Let's get more people flowing in this room. And in the meantime, also, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors who are joining us this morning. Shout out to the ENS Maxis with us on stage. We also have Crypto Slam on stage, and we do not have Domain Plug here, but I will be on their spaces on Wednesday. So you guys want to tune into that, but give the sponsors a follow. while they're on stage right now. And we'll keep it moving right along to our co-host NFT Verse. How you doing today, brother?
GM Kev 5159. Appreciate you as always, bro. Just keeping things consistent. You're on the West Coast, so the West Coast life, right, might be getting to you over there, man. I don't know what the time zone and everything like that. I know it's crazy, man, but appreciate you getting up early this morning to host this space as usual. Staying consistent, this man is always on the other side of the U.S. and still committed to bringing us all together for another ENS update show. That's huge for me, and it should be huge for everybody in the community. Shout out to Master as usual. Just always dropping gems, man. I love every single time Master is dropping knowledge in here. Master, I can't wait for you to publish your first book of just quotes. That would be amazing, Master, because you have so many great quotes that you throw out there each and every day. And Web3 is going to need that type of energy as we continue to go on this journey. Is those quotes that need to be thrown out there and captured? Maybe those quotes captured on the blockchain somehow, or maybe even in your red letter project, Master. But I think that that would be amazing if you can capture some of those. I see Ron's in here. Ron, I'm in your spot today. Feel free to come back up and clock back in, Ron. It's time for you to come back to work, Ron. I've been coming off the bench shooting threes. My arms are tired, Ron. I can't shoot anymore. We need you back, Ron. But I just want to give a shout out to Ron, of course. Ron with all his knowledge and understanding. Ron's out, but we miss you, bro. So come on back, man, and continue to bless us with that knowledge that you always give us. Gary P, ENS Punks in here. I see we got Flexter in here. Shout out to the ENS Max is in here. Shout out to Crypto Slam, ENS Christine in here. I see you, Q Capital, Jereya. Yeah, so to the whole entire community, thanks for tapping in this morning. As usual, Kev, you was out on Friday, but let me tell you, bro, I did do a pop up space because I know people are addicted to the ENS update show. So I did throw up a space. I called it the ENS updates off the bench. So I came off the bench. It wasn't recorded, but we had a great time. We had a few people in there. I forget how many people came in there, but I gave them their daily dosage of the ENS update show, Kev, because they missed you. Everybody misses that and they look forward to it. So I had to fill in off the bench, hoping to get maybe a contract extension, maybe a 10-day deal, maybe a 10-day contract. Who knows? But I just want to make sure that the community has something, bro. But yeah, I just kind of want to say, man, it's Monday. We start this journey all over again. It's a daily routine that Kev sets the stage here for us to come in here and bounce, information and news and knowledge on one another. I just wanted to kind of, I'm not going to go long, but I just want to kind of put this bug in everybody's ear out there is just, continue to always be strategic. Continue to do your research, man. Do your research out here. The time you might need to just log off sometime and do a little bit of research. Kind of take yourself away from it. Go look at some of the news articles out there on Web3. Look at some of the things that are coming through the pipelines out there for crypto and NFTs. Take a look at that stuff. Go to Web3 domains. Tap into Gary's resource out there and look at and read through some of the articles, man. There's some amazing information out there. And sometimes you got to feed your brain different in a different way. Sometimes you got to feed it some of that energy and that understanding, so that when you come in contact with people who are trying to bring something down, you have the right way to respond to them. There's no sense in engaging in arguments. There's no sense in fighting somebody when you know what utility you hold.
There's going to be all type of people that are going to come into this space, and they're going to come in with their with their passion about what they've been doing, and what the standard is and what tradition says. We're in a paradigm shift right now, whether or not they know it. But it's important that they understand it, and we try our best to teach them. But they're not always going to listen. But in those cases where they don't listen, let me just tell you like this: it's okay to move on, right? Because they're not ready yet, right? Sometimes people are just not ready to hear that information. Sometimes people, claim to know a whole bunch of things, but they haven't done their due diligence and their research in order to come to the conversation with some beneficial material to discuss. So that can sometimes take away your energy. Don't let that negative energy take you away from what your goals are, because at some point in time they're going to come knocking on your door, and they're going to come asking you questions, and they may not do it in the public, right? So they may address you one way in the public, right? But when it comes to the time when they see things start to surface, they're going to address you a different way in the DMs. Trust that. Trust and believe that. They'll come a whole different way. But I'll say this: do your research, do your due diligence, and just make sure you're out there continuing to learn about what this space is doing and how fast it is moving. You can easily miss something, but if you kind of take a little break away and start learning and kind of reading up on some material, trust me, you'll be ahead of the game and you'll stay ahead of the game. 5159, I appreciate as always. Community, I appreciate you always as for tapping in and starting to understand more and more and learn. If you're new in here, raise your hand and come up. I'm tired of hearing the same people talk. I'm tired of hearing Gary's voice. I'm tired of hearing Flex's voice all the time. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of ENS punks talking all the time. I'm just kidding. These are the regulars, guys. I'm playing. I'm kidding around. But we do need some new people up here. Come on up, raise your hand, man, if you got a question or concern. I appreciate your 519. Everybody have an amazing day.
For verse, right? A couple of things I just kind of want to say that I one shout out to you, Verse, for doing a pop up space on Friday for the community, right? I think we're building something here that's going to hopefully it outlives me physically, right? ENS updates, right? This is the name that can ultimately live for as long as ENS is a protocol that is producing utility and giving value to its holders. This is something that can live for hundreds of years. We're this the first generation to kind of establish what this is. This isn't about me, right? This is not about me. This is about the community coming every together to have a hub, to have a space to communicate. So I appreciate you doing that, Verse, and that shows even if I don't host a show doesn't mean this can't go on, because this is for the community by the community. One, right? Two, I think it's very fascinating that we live in a generation where we control the narrative of what we want to consume. And I think we take that for granted. This is a little off topic, but if you just go back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, the only daily dose of information you could, bring into your body, bring into your life, or watch or read or listen to, was what the media directly gave you, right? Whether that was on the radio, whether that was on TV, or what was on the newspaper. Those are the only outlets of media that you could have, possibly obtained. Now we live in a generation where you could hop on Twitter, you could type in any topic in the world, and you could read up on it. You could find a space about it, right? You could type in anything on the world, and you could go on Google and you could search it up. So you could now control your own narrative, and I think that's pretty cool. I think it's something we take advantage of, but we take for granted. I just kind of want to throw that out there. But Verse, much appreciate, bro. You've been doing a phenomenal job as co-host, man, in Ron's absence. But we do have the man, the myth, the legend himself with us. So let's pass it over to Ron to see how he's doing on his trip.
Hey Kev, thanks. I'm down driving along the Mediterranean, and I'm on roaming data, so I don't know how long it's going to last. But yeah, I thought I'd jump in and say hi. Been having some withdrawals. I did make it back in time from Kyrgyzstan to get on the Friday night happy hour at 4 a.m. my time. I'm on Thread Girl time. I'm just across the bay from Thread Girl right now. So kind of cool. And I was right up standing on the China border of Kyrgyzstan at about 15,000 feet this time last week. So I was thinking of Master when I was up there, but I'm sure I was might have been farther than him than I am from the U.S. But anyway, yeah, it's funny. Every time I step away, even for a week or so, wow, it just comes back to how early we are and realize that we're here talking about it. It feels like stuff's happening, and indeed stuff is happening. But man, we're early. Like, I don't even think we realize how early we are. I know we say that a lot, but when you get out in the world outside of our little ENS echo chamber, man, you realize we're probably a couple years earlier than we think we are. Last thing I wanted to say was I did do a little ENS punks, did a couple mile walk on the beach today, and so kind of thinking of punks while I'm over here. It wasn't South Beach, so I'll tell you that. I'll tell you it wasn't South Beach, but I guess there's nothing like South Beach. But yeah, and the other thing I was going to say is when we talk censorship, man, there's no more censorship than when you start dealing with merchanting, PayPal, any kind of payment systems. You get more bullshit. You get jacked around more. Look at Kanye. What they did is they probably pulled his merchanting, right? And then they'll hold your money. They'll hold that money for 6 months. The last time PayPal held my money, when Amazon froze all my N95 masks a week into the pandemic that I was trying to sell for $250, which the government was paying $20 for. They froze my masks. Amazon kept all my masks. PayPal not only froze my money for 6 months, they decided to keep it. They decided it was okay now just to keep my money, all my money, just a few $1,000, but still. So payment system is important, and we know how that ENS plays into that. So yeah, I think it's just crazy. It's just ridiculous. Who gives a shit? What someone says, and it's like, heck, half their people. There's a guy walking a camel, something you don't see every day. But anyway, yeah, it's like, people, probably half their customers agree, half don't, whatever. Let people, we got to get out of this ridiculous world. And like I say, with merchant bankings, they're very into censorship. They're very into deciding what people can sell and what people can't sell. It's very political. Very bad. So I feel like we're playing a strong role in that. So, like I said, I'm probably gonna. I'm surprised I'm even have a signal now, but I'll drop down to listener and good to be back. And yeah, hopefully the next couple of days I'll be at my hotel, so I'll have a little better service. And glad to be back. Kind of.
On, right? Appreciate you, man, hopping on and saying what's up to the fam while on vacation. Enjoy your trip, right? It's always great to hear your voice. Happy that you're enjoying the trip. Happy that you're doing well. And yeah, man, enjoy your trip. We're here. We're gonna hold it down for you. And I like what you also said about we're probably earlier than we even think we are, right? And like I said, though, true mass adoption is when every citizen, when every person who has internet service is somehow, some shape, some form, integrating and using the blockchain on a day-to-day basis seamlessly without even realizing, without even knowing it. That day is coming. Now, when that day will come, if I knew that, I would be a very rich man, right? But I don't know that. So we'll see. Time will tell, but we'll keep the show moving right along over here. Let's go over to Gary Palmer Jr. Gary was spent the weekend at DevCon. Gary, you want to recap how that experience was for you? That would be great, bro.
You want me to recap 5 days?
Well, yeah.
444 speakers, thousands of hours of content, dozens and dozens, if not, dozens and dozens of people that I spent involved conversations, hundreds of people and connections, wild food, wild culture, new people. Like almost nobody spoke English, so I practically learned Spanish while I was there. And you want me to recap that all in 5 minutes? All right, let me see what I can do.
Happen in 60 seconds.
60 seconds. Oh man, well listen, I tried to capture what I could, go through my Twitter history to see some of the photos and some of the insights. Let me think really quickly. Yeah, the public doesn't understand Ethereum. They don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand NFTs or ENS names. We are all early AF. All right. I'm early. You're early. The people who have not shown up yet and they don't know what Bitcoin is, those people are early. Right. It's shocking, and we need everyone to build and do more into ENS. Yeah. There is the link to the DevCon app. I think it's app.devcon.org. If you guys go there, then you can get the links to the archive. You guys can watch all these videos. In summary, I am more bullish on Ethereum and decentralization than I was before. Like I've been, not so secretly concerned about the decentralization and the builders in Web3 that understand the importance of decentralization. And if you are to watch the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies, and please watch the talk by Eric Wall about social slashing that talks about censorship resistance and how censorship resistance is a aspect of the community. Everyone, I mean, I just encourage you to watch these talks to get a feel of what's going on, because massive changes are just happening across every single aspect of Web3. And you are not inspired enough. You are not motivated enough. However bullish you are, I don't think we have any understanding of what's coming, or the building that's happening, or the connections that's happening. That's why the SEC is cracking down on Tornado Cash. That's why the SEC is investigating the Bored Ape Yacht Club, because everyone knows the writing is on the wall. Everyone knows, right? And like right now, it's just such a visceral time of excitement, and we just don't know what the future is going to bring, but we can all work together to try to bring our vision to it.
Bombs for Gary, right? I think that's great, man. I'm happy you went out there and you got that great experience of what it's. But that's what it's all about. That's what Web3 is all about, right? It's just a huge.
It wasn't just for clarity. It wasn't just the experiences were great. Being in Colombia, the experiences were great. With all of DevCon, you guys can't imagine like how far they go out with like making some of these like experiences in some of these rooms. I can't even get into it. There's like way too much to get into. But the number one thing of any conference, and the number one thing at this conference at DevCon, was the relationships, was the actual talking to people from Twitter, from building, eating food with them, drinking drinks with them, talking about life, talking about crypto, like being able to experience the whole person, every single person in this room. I can't wait until we meet at, let it be the next DevCon, likely in Africa, or if there's some other new conference that comes around the world to do with some other brand new technology that's not DevCon, but some other type of con. We're all going to meet up, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well said. Well put together. Thank you for the recap, Gary. That was phenomenal. Another bomb for. Go right along here. Let's go over to Flex, man. Flex, good morning, man. How was your weekend?
Oh, weekend's good, man. Weekend's good. I'm actually in Texas, spending some time with my mom and dad. So that's kind of good for me. I got out of Florida, went over to Vegas, had a good time, learned a lot when I was in Vegas. It was really educational. It was a Web3 expo. You know what I mean? So don't get it mixed up that it was as fun as what Gary's doing with all the ENS stuff. But it was more, of the developers, the coders, new platforms that are coming out. I mean, there was a couple of NFT projects that we're representing, but it was pretty much more on the technological side of Web3. So I got to learn a lot over there this week, and yeah, just I'm agreeing with Gary about being so early and being super bullish, and maybe some of you guys aren't bullish enough. but I scream ENS from the top of the buildings, man. I mean, I scream it on the planes, I scream it in the streets. I onboard as many as I can, because there you go. I agree with Verse. You guys are probably tired of hearing me every day. Let's hear some new people. You know what I mean? Let's get some new onboarding people. Super stoked about the Matt Higgins purchase of Irish.eth. And not only bullish about that, on my pregame show yesterday, I discussed, the mindset, and I was asking ENS punks, of the mindset, because that is real estate. Your Twitter page is real estate, and Matt Higgins now has his name plus 917.eth plus Irish.eth. You know what I mean? He's got all three of those on his Twitter page now. So, with him as an entrepreneur, as Punk said, the mindset of an entrepreneur is to know that you're early and that, you have something for the future. And it seems that, Mr. Higgins is definitely showing off that he owns Irish.eth and he owns a 3-digit at 917.eth. So I think for a person of that caliber to show off, and, in Vegas, I did get a chance to ask Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, if he knew that Matt Higgins had purchased 917, and his response was, yeah, I know. So he seemed a little bit jealous. So if Kevin seems a little bit jealous that Matt's got 917 and now Matt is flaunting Irish.eth, I just think from the entrepreneurial side, of Ethereum, name services, I think that, big investors, big entrepreneurs are taking suit in this, and they're just as early as we are, and they're showing it off. So, as long as they're showing it off, I mean, that can only benefit everybody, right? That more mass adoption, can happen. And again, with the regulation, like the SEC cracking down, Kim Kardashian paid that fine. Pooh, at the snap, she did not blink an eye. She paid that fine to the SEC. So we're not going to mess with them. And I think they're going to get the shit right. I think they're going to get it regulated the way that it probably should be. And that's when you're going to see the risk reward factor change for a lot of these bigger corporations. Soon as that risk reward factor changes for the bigger corporations and there's less risk because it is regulated, Mr. O'Leary made it very clear that's why he went to Canada and opened WonderFi, because of the regulated crypto up there. And he says that it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, he's saving so much money in fees and transfer fees and conversion fees and all that. He's saving so much money. He thinks that the regulation is great. So I think when the regulation does take place, we're all on that rocket ship, right? We're all on that rocket ship. Soon as regulation takes place, mass adoption takes place. Soon as mass adoption takes place, everybody, buckle the F up, right? And wasn't that what we said earlier? Buckle the F up. It's too early in the morning for me. I'm in Texas, like I said, so I'm an hour earlier. I got to get back to Florida where this is at 11 o'clock and not at 10 o'clock. So thank you so much for having me, Kev. I really appreciate it. 5159.
Appreciate you, Flex. Man, I'm used to 11 o'clock. This is 8 a.m. for me here in California. So this is a big difference, right? But a couple of things here. I love that that you went and asked Mr. Wonderful that. And I love what you said about Matt Higgins. I actually went and found it and I pinned it to the top. And he said, remember, the real breakthrough opportunities arrive before the tipping point of evidence. If everyone saw what you see, it wouldn't be called an opportunity, but another O word, obvious, right? So just take that into consideration. We're early. We see something 99.99% of the population probably can't even fathom or understand yet. And just have conviction, right? You have big players like Matt Higgins, who's literally FOMOing and becoming a degen right before us with some growls in his bio, not his bio, in his handle, 917.eth and Irish.eth. That made me very happy. I didn't know he went and got Irish.eth and put it in his handle. So that is a very, very, very bullish signal for me because he's degen.
And paid 11 Ethereum for it. He paid 11 Ethereum for Irish. So,
Cheap.
I mean, he didn't.
He
Gary
sold
said,
it.
Gary, you must be
Yes.
Irish.
No, man, how many people want to be Irish and how many of them are going to pay for a subdomain? It's like Gary.Irish. It's like, it's like that is a Grail word. It's like he owns. Think about it. He's an Irishman that owns the word Irish.eth. He is like the king of the Irish now in terms of Web3. It's going to make him a pretty pot of gold, top of the GM to you.
A great pot of gold. I agree. I agree. I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy for where we're going. That is a very bullish signal. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the show moving right along here. Let's go to ENS Ty. Thank you for being patient. The stage is yours.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having the stage, aka Is Tennis. And I'd like to come here and say, I'm glad that we have this little thing on Monday here. I missed it on Friday, but NFT Verse, he did this thing. Actually, you guys talk about real estate, and it's booming. Obviously, we had talked about Higgins. So I was like, I have so many stuff. In my opinion, my own grails. I started, just like Gary. I mean, I'm very inspired by him, and this weekend he defended. I think I was on a space with him. He was defending, I guess, real estate versus NFTs and stuff like that. He did a great job. He was a very great ambassador for ENS as always, and for him, I started my own .limo. I know nothing about IPSF. Nothing about decentralized website, but I took the time off, took like NFT Verse, took some time off, went on YouTube, learned how to do it, and just started my own. I used my ENS and forwarded it to the IPSF that I created myself by copy and pasting other people's work. That being said, I'm starting my own thing. I was big into tennis, and it's kind of chilled down. I'm doing a little waiting process there, but what do I build now? I started, hey, real estate, right? Thai ENS. I was huge on that. I bought a lot of city names, a lot of city streets, major provinces, major districts, and I'm going to build upon that. And I was like, hey, let me do ENS Thai realtors where I can get people their identity. Maybe there's a business that wants to advertise in ENS. They're huge in NFTs, but not too much on ENS right now. But I'm doing that first step. Literally in the next 2 months, I'm going to fly there, spend about a couple weeks there, and actually literally do old school cold door knocking, like going to each business, hotels, 5 stars restaurant, anybody I can get connections with, like, hey, I want to start this little ENS empire. Would you like to come, advertise with me? And it's all because of you guys. You guys give me inspiration. ENS gives me so many platforms to, with forwarding DNS, ENS, obviously giving me those XYZs, those dot photos. It's, very great utility right now. So, I'm just going to move on with that and start building. So I appreciate it, Gary. NFT Verse, 5159 master. So, I'm, in the next 2 months, you're going to be, you're going to be getting me. I'm going to be like Ron over there, man. Just say, I'm cruising in Bangkok right now, trying to get my first sell. So, I'm going to actually try to live that dream, guys. Thanks.
Hey, the whole room needs to give that dude some rounds of applause, man. That's what's up. A dude that's actually building on the platform. That deserves a round of applause. You're not just buying and shilling domains, bro. You're doing something with it. And that's what we all need to do and learn from people like you that are motivated to pound the pavement, bro, to put the work in. So congrats to you, ENS Ty. Congrats to you, bro.
Another banger quote. You're not just buying and shilling, right? I think that is huge right there, right? Because listen, we have to give these things value. It eventually comes down to the point, okay, we have portfolios of 500 domains and 1,000 domains and all types of ridiculous numbers of domains, and you're just buying and buying and buying. And hopefully, one thing I loved about the Shark Tank, a lot of people go on there and they will say something along the lines of, yeah, I'm selling it for somebody else to build on it, right? And that flex with people, the main person, listen, I don't fucking want anything to build, right? Like, why don't you build something on it and then you try to sell it to me, essentially. So I think what you're doing, brother, is great. You are innovating. When we talk about builders in the space, let's not forget to mention ENS Ty, because he is building. And he's building utility on top of all this. I appreciate that. I respect that. Listen, we all could do something different. Play your role. No more pointing fingers. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to, bring your fucking bags to the moon besides yourself. You're the only one that could do it. I can't do it. Master can't do it. Ron can't do it. Verse can't do it. Right? We can't do it. We could help you essentially, but I think you need to adopt the mindset of, how can I build on top of this? And it's not easy. It's not easy to build on top of a new technology that I don't really know if any of us really understand its potential, but at least we're trying, at least we're figuring it out. He said he went on YouTube And he figured something out, right? He probably knows a lot more than what I know. And I could probably pay, hey, bro, now he has that information. Hey, bro, I could pay you some, build me something. Build me something next, please, right? Teach me how to build this next. Whatever route, whatever direction you want to go. You could pay for convenience, or you could, pay for knowledge, or whatever it is, right? So we're all different. We could all build in our own way. And that kind of just inspired me. And I hope that inspires you all. And listen, who knows how it ends up going? He might go to Thailand. Everybody might reject him. Or he might go to Thailand and he might, really be a catalyst of something that really starts a huge, deep ENS and Web3 movement in those communities that he's going to. So much love to you, brother. We're going to keep the show moving right along. Let's go to -2 keycaps. The stage is yours.
What's up, Fab? Thank you for the stage. And yeah, man, I was about to talk about that thing right there. It's important, you know what I mean? Not just to, like you guys said, buy and buy. Sometimes, like myself personally, like I got into a point where I feel like I'm stuck and like, oh, there's nothing else to buy. But a light bulb came up to my head. No, there's nothing else out there. Build on your portfolio, put some avatar on your name so everything looks good. So when somebody looks at it, it doesn't look all blue. Focus more on having a good portfolio presentation. That was just one of my man. It's not just about like say buying and shilling. It's like learning from it and building on. And once again, shout out to everybody here that's up here. Without all you guys, this space wouldn't be happening. And shout out to ENS Latinos, man. If you guys have any questions about any land domains, don't do any hot decisions. Go up there in the space and just ask questions. And overall, man, thank you for all this knowledge. Like, if you're just here listening to Master and Gary and all the experience that they're going to, man, if you cannot observe one thing off that, man, you got something going on, man. There's so much knowledge being dropped like into us every day, and without this space, man, I don't know where I would be at personally. And thank you, and God bless you all.
You for coming on and sharing that -2 keycap. I love how you just went as simple as, hey, instead of buying a new one, go make your current ones look good, right? Go add a image to them and things of that nature. Much appreciate you for that. I dropped the bomb for you. Let's keep it. But before we keep it moving right along, I do want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors who are with us live on stage right now. So if you aren't following Crypto Slam, they're the big lightning bulb on stage. Please give them a follow, and also please give ENS Maxis a follow as well. They're on stage. And shout out to Domain Plug. Domain Plug is doing an official space this Wednesday, right? They make this possible. They help support this space. They help support this show. They love the community, and it shows it, right? And they're here to help the community grow and get to the next level. And that's why they're even sponsoring this thing, to show them the love that they are showing us in return. Let's go right over to Stevie. Stevie, welcome to the stage, brother.
GM, ENS fam, GM. I'm a little late to the space, but I don't know if you guys talked about it. If you guys saw soy.eth wrap his name, I'm just curious on if you guys are comfortable with that ESF domain wrapper rather than the actual ENS wrapper.
I actually did not see that, brother, to be honest with you, and I have no idea what you're talking about. If anybody else has seen it, or if you want to talk about it, please, this is the stage to kind of go more into details on that. This is news to me.
I'll jump in real quick because I think the world of these devs. So actually, they've been in here as special guests. The devs behind ESF.tools, they're the same. It's the same dev who is behind PCC.eth, right? So PCC.eth, Penelope Country Club. It's a custom subdomain contract. And yeah, it's decentralization, right? They took it upon themselves before the name wrapper to create subdomains for their NFT project. And then they went ahead and, hey, it's like we've got this badass dev who loves ENS. Let's do our own name wrapper. We don't need to wait for the official ENS name wrapper. And they built it. It's a great thread to check out. Soy.eth, he's a prominent member of the community, some grails, and he did wrap soy.eth. But one of the great things about his particular thread is he's got a lot of screenshots. And some of these screenshots are fantastic because they show you the full breadth of the controls, right? You can basically what this is, and it's actually what a lot of people think the ENS name wrapper is going to be. The ENS name wrapper effectively is just going to be all the functionality, right? In order to actually make your own registrar, you're probably going to need a dev. There's going to definitely be some, tools that are built right into the UI. If you manually mint a subdomain, like ENS Punks has a bunch of subdomains because I've traded with people, I'll be able to single click a button and wrap it, and then boom, it'll be in the official ENS subdomain name wrapper NFT collection. So that is like probably a bonus, but it won't be like drag and drop, click and play, full on domain registrar. The functionality will be there in the smart contract, but you need devs to build on top of it. Well, guess what? The ESF.tools, that is, kind of like ENS Vision. It is by the community for the community. They're accessible. You can talk to them. And so, it's out there. It's fully usable. Check it out, right? So you can wrap, you can burn fuses, and then you can put royalties. So it's everything you want. And separate and apart from that, they actually have a request for a proposal in the ENS DAO forum. They're looking for 30K from the ENS DAO. Why? To build a generic registrar contract. So again, the official ENS name wrapper contract is going to come out, and they know, hey, a lot of the community think it's going to be, drag and drop, click and play. It's not, but guess what? We've already done it, and we can build these tools for you guys on top. They're just looking for a little bit of money. So, fantastic dev. He's been in this very space, talked to us in person, and, fantastic projects between PCC.eth and ESF Tool or ESF.tools. So if you haven't seen either of those, check them out. There are some people who kind of maybe fly under the radar a little bit, don't get talked about enough in terms of what they're doing. And again, one of those reasons every time I get the opportunity, get in that ENS DAO forum, because you would know stuff like, hey, that very dev is in there trying to build us a registrar contract on top of the ENS name wrapper. And trust me, that's something we're all going to want, right? We're all going to want to be able to have a full-on registrar right off of our Grails. And, why not have the community build it for us?
That was perfect, my man. Honestly, I think we need